I'm headed back to the cabin. I just caught my third laker. This one is 27 inches long, 7 pounds. I'm headed back to the cabin. I've got this one and I've got one salmon in the cooler for supper. It has been a hellacious fishing trip up here. If you haven't subscribed to this channel and you like stuff on the great outdoors, fishing and stuff, this is what this channel is all about here at the Rustic log cabin in Northern Maine. I look forward to meeting you. Good morning. My name is Tom. I come to you from Northern Maine. Welcome to my fish house today. Today I wanted to talk about deep holes. You know, a lot of people like to fish the deep hole and stuff like that. And this might be a little controversial and everybody will probably have a different opinion on fishing the deep holes. And even how to fish a deep hole. Not saying my way is the right way or the best way, but I do have a thought on it. And maybe we just share that thought today. You guys grab a cup of coffee, sitting in the fish house watching my traps. I am hoping for another big pike. I wasn't a pike fisherman until this winter. Caught me a big pike. Ate it. Well, always caught some. You can't catch them and not, you know. But anyways, everybody kept saying how good they was. Well, I took and had a bite of that thing as fish nuggets, and it was good. But normally I'm a trout fisherman, lake trout, salmon, and brook trout. It's just I set this shack up, a new shack for the boys, the grandsons. And that way, maybe get a chance to bring them out here and put them on a really big fish or a lot of fish. You know, yellow perch, white perch, anything that'll bite a hook. But anyway, let's talk about the deep hole. In aspects to ice fishing, not summer fishing. Let's limit this to ice fishing, because my summer fishing, I do the same thing. I fish the deep holes. And I've been playing with this for a while. In the summertime, I drive around with my boat. And I have a handheld GPS. And I mark the deep holes. You know, 50 feet of water, 80 feet of water, 100 feet of water. I mark the dead center of those holes. And keep track of that. And I have a book, I have a log that I keep, been building that log for, well, the cabin where I fish that area, I've been building that log now for 12 years. But anyways, I GPSed all the deep holes that I wanted to ice fish that come in winter. And this was quite a few winters ago. Hello. If you have a calling to help support this channel, then check out my link right above my head, the Patreon channel. And for $5 a month, you can definitely help to push the message of the East Grand Woodsman channel. Everything about the great outdoors here in the state of Maine. And I will see you back in the video. So I went out and set my traps right smack dab in the middle of the deep hole, without a whole lot of success. I won't say I didn't have any success, without a whole lot. There was one deep hole I sat in. It had 65 feet of water. I put a trap in the center of that deep hole every single day for a week. Never got a flag. 5 days. On the 5th day, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I got one flag, and it was an 8-pound lake trout. So let's say that hole paid off, but it took 5 days. So, you know, maybe some will think that's good, maybe some won't. It was 5 days of fishing for one fish out of that one hole. For me, I always think that's pretty good if I see an 8-pound lake trout come through the ice, or a 10-pound lake trout, or a 10-pound cusk. I'm always happy with that. Doesn't matter how many hours I had to set to get that to happen. Have a little look out here. I got 5 traps running around the shack. So anyways, after doing that for a while, checking out these deep holes right smack dab in the center, I got more thinking about how I troll in the summertime. Now, I'll troll through the deep hole, but I think I get most of my fish on the edges of that deep hole, which most of us know that that's where the fish feed anyways. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think when it comes to ice fishing, especially new people, I think everybody thinks, I got to fish the deep hole, I got to fish the deep hole, I got to fish the deep hole. In reality, I think you want to fish the rim of that deep hole. Not necessarily if it's 60 feet of water, maybe you want to be back in 30 feet of water. Or where you know, and I can find the drop-offs with my GPS with the boat in the summertime. And so that's how I kind of lay out where I want to fish next winter. I'll check it out in the spring while I'm trout fishing, and I'll be marking these spots. And then in the wintertime, I go set up my shack and I set up my traps in those areas that I previously scouted back in the summertime. And by doing that, I have had some more luck. You know, I seems like I've caught a lot more fish. You know, it's hard to say distance, because I'm really looking for sharp drop-offs. So say, you know, maybe it's only over 20 feet, and I hit that sharp drop-off halfway down. Stuff like that. So, and the other thing, I believe what happens in the very, very deep of the deep hole, the other thing about these deep holes that I think that is going on, especially in the wintertime, and my thought process behind this is I know where there's another lake that they just don't catch any fish down on bottom, and the talk has always been lack of oxygen. So I believe down in the very deep of the deep holes, maybe there's a layer of water and there's a line that goes across that from there down there's not enough oxygen in the wintertime. Now, I'm not a scientist and I'm not a whatever. I'm just talking about fishing and my thoughts on a deep hole. And maybe that's another reason why fishing the very center of the deep hole, I haven't had as good a luck. At least that's my thought process. Now, if you guys know something different about a deep hole, hey, leave it in the comment. Leave it in the comment and give me your thoughts on fishing the deep hole of the lake. Because I've had a lot more luck in the wintertime on lake trout, mostly lake trout, because that's basically all I've been fishing for years in the wintertime. I fish for lake trout and I fish for cusk, burbot. And most of the time I find myself in 30 to 35 feet of water for that. So I've got 2 reasons you should subscribe to this channel. The first one is if you've clicked on one of my thumbnails. The second one is this channel is all about the great outdoors, the state of Maine. Everything that I do here at the Rustic off-grid cabin. But that's my thought about a deep hole, is maybe we just don't fish right in the center of the deep hole. So that's, you know, I don't know if some people probably don't ever experiment. I don't know. I experiment all the time. I experiment with fishing. I'm constantly trying something different, whether it's bait, whether it's depth, or whatever. Constantly moving around and trying something different. I do not get stuck in a rut. Having a stationary fish house like this is about as close to getting stuck as a rut as I get. But this is a really small pond, as you can see, up on where my rustic log cabin is. I have 3 shacks, and I move them around all the time. They are mobile, portable, and that's just the way I fish up there. I might move 5 or 10 miles in one day, or that night after fishing. I might move the shack down, get it all set up for the next day, and that's how I continue on fishing. But anyways, any thoughts on fishing a deep hole? Leave me a comment, and let's get a little bit of conversation going here on fishing the deep hole in the wintertime. And we'll do another video on fishing the deep hole in the summertime. So, hey, you have a great day, and I will see you next week.